Hello everyone, this is Nick from Those Hairy Gamers, and we are back on yet another X-Wing miniature squad builder, because the last bits and pieces of Wave 11 just got spoiled yesterday. Yes, we're at that stage where all the stock's been distributed around the world, all the retailers have their stock, and inevitably when that happens, somebody in the world spoils the last details that FFG did not tell us in the reveal articles. Now, I'm not going to show those spoiled images here. I mean, they're just some guy taking a quick picture of the packets with his phone, so they're not really much to look at. But I will go through everything here in the squad builder and talk about what's been revealed and what I think of those last few bits and pieces. First of all, for the Rebel Alliance, we have the Auzituck gunship. Where are you? There you go. And what got spoiled yesterday was the Wookiee Liberator. Now, this guy, I'll just bring up all the pilots here. Sits 2 points above the Kashyyyk Defender and 2 points below Lowrick. He is a generic Pilot Skill 3 dude with an APT slot, so that's what we were kind of hoping for, whether this guy was going to have an APT or not. The price point is pretty much expected. He sits right between the other two pilots, so that makes sense. In terms of what I think about this, I don't think this guy's going to get a whole heap of use. For the simple reason that for 2 more squad points, you get access to Lowrick, who has an amazing pilot ability. I can't see a way to justify taking the generic with the APT slot without also investing the extra points into Lowrick. It makes sense if you want to save points to go right to the Kashyyyk Defender, just stick 24 points, big point reduction, that makes perfect sense. I don't see the value in the EPT for another 2 points and not the extra 2 points on top to go all the way to that amazing pilot. Just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I might be wrong. I'm a scum player. I don't know these Rebel builds that well, so I may have overlooked something quite obvious there. And I guess if you've already got Lowrick on your squad and you must have another Auzituck gunship with an APT, that makes a lot of sense. But for the time being, I think we've pretty much seen the main meat of the Auzituck gunship. Everything that was revealed in the article is everything of interest with this ship. Alright, moving on to the Galactic Empire, we have the TIE... What the hell was it called? The TIE Aggressor, that's right, I remember things. Yes, we had all the pilots revealed in the article, but we did not have the dial revealed in the article. And that's it, right there. Now, when I reviewed the article, I kind of made the assumption that, it's going to be pretty comparable to a regular TIE Fighter dial. I wasn't too far off. The 1 speeds are completely wrong, but in terms of the amount of green and the amount of whites and the 1K turn being present, it's pretty much on par in terms of the quality of the dial. So we have greens at speed 1, 2, and 3. That's fantastic for a turreted ship. We don't have the 1 hards, but we've got the 1 straight and the 1 bank, so a bit more fine control at the low speeds than the TIE Fighter. I think this dial's fantastic. It doesn't have any S loops or Talon rolls, but we knew that already because those rule cards were not in the spread. So yeah, cool. This is going to be a really solid ship. I know a lot of people were waiting for this dial going, is it going to be crap? Is it going to be crap? Because basically this dial tells you whether the ship will be good or not. I think it was safe to assume that this was always going to be okay, but I still know a lot of people that were worrying that, oh god, they're going to make this ship crap by nerfing the dial. Nope, it's fine guys, don't worry about it. The TIE Aggressor, totally awesome. Quad TLT on the Imperial faction is officially a thing. Go for it guys. Alright, lastly we have the Skurg Bomber. Let's bring him up. We had one of the pilots revealed, the Lock Revenant. Again, just like the Auzituck gunship, he sits exactly between these 2 pilots here. It's a bit of a different scenario here because the pilot ability of Sol Sigza is not that incredible, so I can kind of see the Lock Revenant getting a bit more play. He has the APT, he's Pilot Skill 3 this time, and at 26 points, that's really good. Just while we're talking about this too, I want to address something that a lot of people have been concerned about. A lot of people are looking at this and going, oh no, we've got another Torp boat. It's here, guys. They're giving the Scum faction a Torp boat. Quick, nerf it, blah, blah, blah. I don't think that's the case, and I'm going to explain why that is. Because it's a small ship, we can get Deadeye happening again. We can get the double Torp, or the double missile in this case, and give him Deadeye on a small ship with an APT, so we get that flexibility. I don't think it's going to be quite as efficient as the Torp boat. I'm just going to bring up the 2 builds right here and explain why that is. Alright, here they are. Now just one thing, I've replaced on the Contracted Scout Deadeye with Crackshot, because I can't physically put Deadeye on it because of the rule change. But as you can see right here, the Contracted Scout actually sits a point below the Skurg Bomber, and in my opinion is a much more efficient build. I mean, take a look at the dial for the Contracted Scout. You have all those really accurate, excellent low-speed maneuvers. You got the wide S-loop. You go over to the Skirk Bomber. It's a good dial, don't get me wrong, but it's nowhere near as efficient as the Scout. The Scout is also a large base ship. It has much more reach. So it's going to be able to get more efficiency out of those torpedoes. The Skirk Bomber also only has 1 green dice. I mean, I guess it has 10 health, while the Scout has 9 health, but honestly, I'd trade 1 point of health for an extra green dice any day of the week. The Skirk Bomber also doesn't have 2 torp slots, so in order to get the double ordnance, you need to use a missile with extra munitions. I would take Concussion Missile if I was going for this kind of build. I think it's a toss-up between Concussion Missile and Cluster Missile. I just like Concussion because it's range 2 and 3, while Cluster is 1, 2. Yeah, I know you get 2 shots, but in this kind of build, you're not going to get a lot of efficiency with your actions, so you're not going to be able to capitalize on those 2 shots as well. Concussion Missile is great. It means you have a free conversion from a blank to a hit, and with the guidance chips you have any other dice result to a crit, so there's a very high chance that you're going to get 4 hits, one of them being a crit, which was fantastic. So from that point of view, it's quite strong, but just all the other factors, it's not as maneuverable, it's on a small base. I just don't see it being as good as the Torp boat. It's 1 point less for the Torp boat. No, I don't agree with the overall consensus that we're seeing in Torp, but I just don't think the build is there. I think there are much better things that we can do with these low pilot skill dudes. I think TLT with Operations Specialist or TLT with Dengar, that kind of stuff. We're going to have some nice combos there. I don't think the Torp/missile boat's coming back, guys. I'm calling that right now. It's not happening. Last little bits and pieces that we got revealed was a couple of upgrades that came with the Skirk Bomber as well. It's a bomber pack, so it came with a whole heap of upgrades, so it's no surprise that they've left a couple of those out. First of all, the Cruise Missile. Where are you? Yes, the Cruise Missile. 1 red dice at range 2 to 3. Attack, target lock, discard this card to perform its attack, so you get to keep your target lock. That gets your rerolls, that's pretty cool. You may roll additional attack dice equal to the speed of the maneuver you perform this round to a maximum of 4 additional dice. Guys, I'm calling this right now. This is trash. I do not think this is a good card at all. Why is that? Because I think in order to get the maximum benefit out of this, you must do a speed 4. There is only one speed 4. It's a 4 straight. It is so obvious where your Alpha Strike's going to be. It's just going to make it so easy for any player of any amount of skill to go, oh, he's going to do that 4 straight. He's going to fly right at me. I'm going to counter that. Done. Easy. And for that reason, I think Cruise Missile is pretty useless. Yeah, if you do a 3-speed, you can do that in any direction, but still, only 1 or 2 of those maneuvers are going to be effective in making this work. I just look at this and think, you're telegraphing your maneuver so blatantly, even more so than the gyroscopic targeting. I think the best option for this is not the Skirk Bomber. Given that the Skirk Bomber has red 3 hard turns, I don't think it's going to get much benefit out of this. I think this card is actually going to be best on something like a TIE Advanced. I know some people around various forums I'm on are talking about putting on Vader. Let's just bring up that build right now. I'm even thinking Intensity on Vader because of his ability to do boosts and barrel rolls very easily with those 2 actions. So I'm just going to chuck that on for now. It's not what we're talking about today, but just for the sake of having a look at this. Vader's build sits at around 34, 35 points depending on what you regularly do. With the Cruise Missile, it's in the high 30s. Wow. No, that's too expensive. I mean, high 30s, we're talking Whisper territory right now. I don't think Vader's that efficient. I can see why people like this, because what you can do with Vader is you can do these high-speed maneuvers and then you have access to a boost and a barrel roll, so you're telegraphing your maneuver, but you can still reposition to get the benefit. And he wants to take target locks anyway because of his advanced targeting computer, but the advanced targeting computer's ability does not proc on secondary weapons, so it's wasteful. It's so wasteful. Vader's attack is already very strong. With the Cruise Missile, yeah, you can get more dice, but a 5 attack dice as opposed to a 2 attack dice with an extra crit, it's definitely better. It's definitely better. But for 3 points on an ace, pushing him to that squad point cost, look, guys, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. I just don't see it myself. This is the thing I love about X-Wing. I often think these things and then I go to a store the next day and get my ass kicked by the card that I thought was absolute trash. But I think for the time being, the cruise missile is an absolutely useless upgrade. Alright, let's move on to the last thing we saw in this article. We have to take Havoc in order to get this on the Skirg. Where are you? Oh, salvage astromech, there you are. We have R4E1. A salvaged astromech for 1 point. You can perform actions on your torp or bomb upgrade cards even if you are stressed. It's kind of like a prime thrusters but for actions on the torp or bomb cards. After you perform an action this way, you may discard this card to remove 1 stress token from your ship. I'm looking at this card thinking, yeah, okay, no, I like that second sentence because basically towards the end of the game where you're probably not going to get the benefit out of these bombs or torps. I mean, the idea is you spend all your bomb and torp actions and then there's none of those left. Well, you may as well flip the card to get rid of your stress token. Why wouldn't you? So it's cool from that point of view. The reason I'm not so jazzed about this is because particularly the Skirg Bomber has much, much better options when it comes to unique salvage astromechs. The Skirg Bomber can take Genius. The Skirg Bomber can take R4B11, which suddenly has relevancy. You can take R5P8. I don't think R5P8 is amazing, but for 2 more points, I think it might be better than R4E1. It's good, not great. I mean, what else can it go on? It can go on a Jump Master. Yay, another Jump Master buff. That's just what we need. But let's just think for a minute. I mean, R4B11. Actions on bomb or torp cards. It doesn't have the bomb upgrade slot unless you take Cad Bane. I don't think Cad Bane on a contracted scout's really that good. A lot of people are saying, oh no, Cad Bane's going to give Jump Masters the bomb slot. I don't think that's a very efficient way of using it myself. You can use actions on your torp slot. I mean, what's that? That's the seismic torpedo. And no other torp has actions on them. It's not that exciting, to be honest, guys. I'm not that jazzed by this. Having access to the seismic torpedo or a bomb when you have stress, I mean, maybe if there was a really amazing action bomb or another torp that had an action on it that was better than the seismic torp, but nah. No, honestly, with this, I don't see the value. I just don't see the value. Again, happy to be proven wrong, but yeah, whatever. So with all that in mind, I think the real star of this leak was the dial for the TIE Aggressor. That's, it's solid. On a ship that's already so efficiently costed, I think it's just confirmed everyone's theory that it's going to be a great platform for TLT. I think the Ion build that FFG put in the TIE Aggressor release article is going to be fantastic. I reckon 2 of those, and 2 of them with lightweight frame and TLT. That's going to be great. Anyway, that's it. Just a short one for today, guys. Like and subscribe. Check out Those Hairy Gamers for more gaming content, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.